friends, it's Laura with Laura's Handmade Haven. Welcome or welcome back. I'm so glad you joined me today. We're continuing our Cozy Up October projects. So as you may recall, I am working my way through a tote of fleece scraps. And today I have a really fun, cozy project for us to do together. We're gonna learn how to make a reversible infinity scarf. So I have two different flannels here with me. I know I said that I was working through a tote of fleece, but I meant flannel, so just erase that part, okay? Um, so I have two different types of flannel here with me, and I'm gonna make a super cute infinity scarf out of them. Now, what I've done before I start the camera rolling today was I cut both of these strips at 7 inches, and I sewed some lengths together because you need at least 72 inches. I have 80 inches here long, so that's just gonna mean my scarf's just a little longer than some of the tutorials you may have seen. So now, the thing is, if you have scraps like I do, and maybe you don't have 72 inches long by 7 or 12 inches wide, what you can do is just piece those scraps together, and you can have a really fun scarf that just has all kinds of different patterns on it. You could also do a patchwork where you could just use some squares or whatever you want to form one side of your scarf and then put the other side as plain or solid or just a one continuous fleece or flannel. But what we're gonna do today is just use these two pieces of flannel that I have. And like I said, I've cut them at 7 inches wide by 80 inches long. And we're just gonna head on over to the sewing machine because there's a couple tricky parts that I'm pretty sure will help you if you just see it done. All right, so you are gonna be amazed at how quickly this comes together. There are, like I said, there's a couple little tricky spots that you have to figure out, but really this is a pretty quick, easy project. Now, before I get too far though, my bobbin is almost empty, so let's go ahead and switch that out. Now, honestly, if I was doing this off camera, I would be using coordinating thread, but I just want you to be able to see the thread in the video, so I am going to be using just some white thread today. All right, now the first thing you're gonna do is you're just gonna line up the two pieces of flannel and they are gonna be right sides together. And we're just going to feed this through with a 1/4 inch seam all the way down both long sides of the flannel, but do not go across the ends, not yet. Now, if you're making these for a kiddo, you might want to go a little shorter. If you like lots of drape on your scarves, then you could definitely go longer. Obviously, at the end of the video, you'll be able to see how this one looks. Now make sure you backstitch at the end, the beginning and end of each side that you're sewing. We're gonna flip this around and just go up the other side. Now, you know, I said I was going to use a 1/4 inch seam. I'm somewhere between a 1/4 and a half. Doesn't really have to be exact on this project. This is not like piecing a quilt block. Precision is important, but not, it's not going to be the downfall of your project. Now, this is the trickiest part of the whole deal. I'm going to put my arm down the middle of this scarf, between the layers, and work my way all the way to the other end, which should be coming up fairly soon. And then I'm going to grab this end and pull it back up inside of this tube. So now I have all the ends here together. Now I'm going to use a few pins and I'm going to pin them right sides together with nested seams. It's important to line up your seams for this step because, I mean, you probably wouldn't notice it, but you don't want your scarf like all twisty or anything. You want your seams lined up nicely. Now you are going to sew around the circle, but you are not going to sew all the way around because you've got to give yourself a little room to turn this out. Now, they suggest about 5 inches in most of the tutorials that I've seen. So that's a lot or most of one side. So I'm going to leave this side open because I'm using white thread. So I want to leave the side open where when I do my top stitch in just a few minutes, you won't notice it as much. And you would, definitely notice it on that red and black more than you would on this white. All right, so you have 2 choices. You can, and this is perfectly fine, you could just start this. Let me switch you to the other side. You could work this around just like this by putting this under your needle and going around just like this. The other thing you could do is take your extension table off if it does that easily. And then you could just do this like you were doing a sleeve on a shirt or something. Now you see all the little strings and goodies underneath my extension table here, don't you? And then you could run it around the arm of your machine, which may be an easier thing for us to do. And that's the path I'm gonna do. All right, so I'm gonna start right about here. It's about 1 inch from that seam because I know that those are 7 inches wide. And I'm very slowly going to work my way around the scarf. Now, like I said, your right sides are together. All the ends are together. And again, we're going to stop about 1 inch from where this little seam is where our 2 fabrics come together, which will give us about 5 inches of openness here to be able to turn. Now we're going to reach inside and turn out our entire scarf, and it's going to be so cool. I don't really know if I would have needed that much, actually. I think that I would have been fine with less, but it's all right. Okay, so now we're going to move our extension table back, and I'm just going to very quickly stitch across here. And this is just going to be kind of like a little top stitch. And this is going through all the layers. So we are going to see a little bit of a white stitch on the other side. Like I said, if I wasn't doing this on camera, so this is the stitch you'll see on the other side of your scarf. If I wasn't doing this on camera, I definitely would have used a red or a black for that side. But that way you can kind of see what it would look like. Okay, let's go try out our scarf. Okay, so here is the seam in our scarf, and I'm just going to put that at the back of my neck. And there are definitely 1,000,002 ways to wear these. And I'm not sure it really matches with the pink, but hey, it is what it is. So here is our sweet little infinity scarf. Now there's a ton of different ways to style these. Google styling an infinity scarf for different ways. I know that there's definitely some that you can put them and then you knot them up and bring them down through into a sweet little knot for a lower little scarf look. And I have basically the poppies out on that, but we can turn this over so more of the red and black check show. This would be so fun to make in all the different like seasons and holiday things. You can even flip it so you can get a little 2 fleece action going, or 2 flannel action going, excuse me. So yeah, Just that quick and easy. And honestly, this was like a 15-20 minute project, and we have a sweet little infinity scarf to cozy up this October for all of those little harvest activities that we love to do here in mid-Missouri. I hope that you found this tutorial helpful. I hope that you enjoyed the little tip that I shared with how to get that tube turned out and how to get that stitch in place and everything so it's much easier to do. I know some of the tutorials I've seen have been like really complicated when it came to that. And like, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that hard of a concept to grasp, but it definitely helps to see it in action rather than trying to explain it through photos and text. So I hope that helped you. I hope that you can make some infinity scarves for yourself and for your friends this holiday season. All right, so full disclosure here, this is one of those projects that once I did it once and I recorded it and I had it ready for you, I thought, we should change this a little bit because this makes no sense whatsoever. Why would I want to sew across the end of that tube with a top stitch when I could just leave part of the opening on the side? So that's what I'm going to do this time. So I'm going to sew, this is going to be a slight deviation. Now these pieces are about 7 inches wide and about 80 inches long. I'm going to start with a back stitch. And I'm going to sew all the way down. Now you're going to notice the black is a little wider than the poppies, but it's all right. Because we're really just sewing a straight stitch all the way down the first side. How many of you, when I was doing that, were thinking, we could do this a different way and it would be better? How many of you are my kindred spirits? My fellow kindred spirit crafters. Nothing too exciting here, just sewing a very long seam down this side of the flannel. I must not have got my black one cut very well because it is not matching up in some spots here. But it's all right, because it's only going to be turned in. You'll never know it. It'll be fine. Now this, because I had to sew like 4 segments of that together because I wanted all of my flowers to go long ways on it, I didn't trim it down before I sewed it on there. So I'm just going to trim that extra off right now before I sew the other side. And now we're going to flip this around and we're going to sew up the other side. But not all the way. We're going to sew the majority of it, but then we're going to leave an opening. We're going to leave it close to the other end, just so we can find it. Making sure my flannels are flat against one another. Like I said, I'm using scrap, so that's why I had to kind of be creative. All right, now when I'm about there, and I would say that's about 12 inches from the end, I'm just going to do a back stitch. And then I'm going to leave that 5-inch opening-ish, 5-ish inches. And then I'm going to sew again. All right, so now the next step is the same. We're just going to reach all the way down this tube to get the other end. And pull it up against itself. So this is the other side inside of here. And now these 2 ends will match with right sides together. We're going to use a few pins just to pin that in place so nothing shifts on us when we're sewing. But this time we are going to sew all the way around the tube. Because we left our opening on the side, we don't have to leave the opening on the end of the tube here. Just like I said, just match all of your edges up, put a few pins just to hold some things in place. Doesn't have to be a ton of pins. And once again, I am going to remove my extension table, but this time I'm going to sew all the way around the tube. And now, instead of this opening down here, we have the opening on the side that we can just pull everything out of. And it's going to be the exact same result, except that we'll be able to put that little top stitch on the side of our scarf. Now I'm keeping my thumb here just so I don't lose where that's at. Okay, so we still have a big loop, but instead of having that hole across the end of our tube, it's on the side, which will be much nicer for top stitching. Now, if you wanted, you could do a top stitch all the way around. I don't know if I'm going to do that. That's a lot. Well, I might. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, so this is like 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Just enough to get that opening closed. And like I said, you could definitely go all the way around the scarf on both inside and outside if you want. I kind of want to be able to have it more like, you know, tubey, I guess. So I'm going to leave it with just that little bit, I think. I don't know. Well, you know what? Let's try it. Let's do it and see what the difference in look is. So again, just a top stitch, about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. This is going to be, you know, 80 inches of top stitching here. But this is such a quick project that, I mean, I think it took longer to cut it out than to sew it up. I'm just kind of pulling that a little bit just to get that seam lined up on the edge. And see, this is where we would have been sewing across before. Since we left a little opening on the side, we don't have that seam going across, but we can add this little top stitch around the outside. And then it just kind of blends in with the rest of the scarf. You just think, oh, well, that's just a little top stitch detail that they wanted to put on there. And it's not like you, had to close it up. All right, let's go see what this one looks like. Okay, so again, we just, instead of doing the opening on the end of that tube, we put it on the side, and then we just add a little top stitching right here. So we're just going to drape this around, and you know what? I think it looks just as good. And I think it actually looks better in some ways because you won't have that like little hard spot that goes across. These can, this can be open and drapey a little bit. It can like poof a little bit. So that's kind of fun. So of the two methods, which one do you prefer? Which one are you going to try? Leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. So there's 2 different ways to make your infinity scarves. I hope you picked up some tips and tricks and worked along with me to see that there are definitely more than one way to skin a cat. And there's definitely more than one way to make an infinity scarf. So until next time, find joy in all you do. Carve out some time for crafting and creating. And remember, it's always better when you make stuff up.